Welcome back to the 13th episode of Buckets N Banter, and in today's episode, we have a very special guest. This guest is my own very own friend, our flatmate, and the content head of Buckets N Banter. Welcome, Naman Agrawal. How do you feel to be on Buckets N Banter?
It's been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming.
So it feels good to finally get here where we are standing in front of this, or sitting rather, in front of this like amazing setup by our in-house production agent, Kiara Quadros.
Creative lead Kiara Quadros. Yes.
So yeah, it feels good to finally get here and finally record this podcast.
Welcome to Buckets N Banter, guys, where we talk to people about sports. So now that I've introduced the guest, I also want to give some background to who Naman is and how integral he has been to Buckets N Banter. And that should take us back to when I first started Buckets N Banter. It was just me basically ranting about NBA, and it was me ranting about just basketball in general. Then I shifted to interviewing my friends. And then one day, Naman and I, after our class, we were like, oh, let's go back to my place. Let's just chill around and do something.
I think before that happened, the first conversation I had with Joe was, bro, your logo is off center and it bothers me so much. And I need to fix this somehow. Which is after which all this happened where we went back to yours.
So then we were on the way back to in the train, and Naman has already mentioned about the logo, and I was like, yeah, cool. We'll do something about it. Then Naman, one thing he told me, he's like, I have a lot of ideas for your podcast. And then I was like, okay, I'm definitely ready to hear it out, because anything to improve the podcast. And then he started saying giving a lot of ideas, and I was like, I was not ready for it. Like, I don't think I was ready for it. And then Naman just said all of those things. I'm like, you know what, Naman, do you want to work with me? So then he was next hired as a content head, and then that's hired on LinkedIn and everything. We had to do all of that. And then we rebranded the entire Buckets N Banter page, the Instagram, the YouTube. It started to look like an actual podcast. So that was how it was going from my side. And honestly, if you weren't there and if you hadn't really come up to me in the train and talk to me about Buckets N Banter, I don't think Buckets N Banter would have been here today. Like, honestly, I don't think. It would have just been a pet project of mine, which I started off with NBA, and I was like,
which would have died after, like, you got busy with work and no one else was there to keep you, like, honest about, hey, do you want to shoot another episode? But yeah, I'm glad that happened. I think I learned a lot because of Buckets N Banter.
Okay.
You learned a lot.
I learned a lot. I definitely learned a lot. I learned how bad my marketing is.
Yeah, it was quite bad. But at the same time, I think to start off a podcast, you don't need to think about marketing. You need to think about just the fact that you just need to do it, which is a good thing that you went ahead and did. And the marketing bit comes later. So I think the timeline worked out pretty well.
Now we're flatmates, and now we stay together, so now we have a studio in our house. So I think it's going to become more regular, this whole studio setup, because now it's just get up from bed, come down, record a podcast, get a guest. Not too difficult. So now let's get on with the podcast. Okay. I want to now since Naman has come into the podcast, we've started to create structure, which was missing from our podcast for a very long time. So let's follow with the structure, and I want to take it back to the time before you were actually in London and before you started working in sports. Take me through when you were in Hong Kong and you did your bachelor's in BBA, and after that, like, how was Hong Kong life like? What made you take that jump from BBA to, I want to work in the sports industry? And for you, the sports industry was the motorsport industry, so I want to hear your side.
Yeah, I think Hong Kong was interesting. I think when I first went there, like every other 18-year-old, I had no idea what I want to do with my life. I knew I like sports, but I never knew that there was like an industry in which I could like work. Especially because my perception was that if you want to work in sports, you have to be an athlete. I did not know there's like so much behind the scenes at that point. And I think, to be honest, in Hong Kong, there isn't much. But how I got into sports is actually just like luck of the draw, basically. I think every single time I looked for, so I did my BBA in Hong Kong, and then Like every graduate, I was looking for jobs, like how all of us are doing right now. But I was looking for jobs, and every time I looked for jobs in Hong Kong, I would look for sports related jobs. So I would go on LinkedIn and I would search sport jobs Hong Kong, or motorsport jobs, because motorsport was a passion of mine, specifically within sports. Like I grew up watching F1, and something that I'm really like into and I watch a lot. So I think 99% of the time nothing came up. And obviously because there isn't much of a sports industry in Hong Kong, and even the sport industry that there is, it's not very organized. I think it's quite like a niche, unorganized industry where a lot of locals are there. So you, as someone who doesn't speak the local language, you don't even have access to sort of get into the industry. But so right after COVID, once again, the first job that I had, I left because I hated that job. It was like a sales job. Did not enjoy it at all. Left that job, went back to India for a bit during COVID. Came back in 2021 and
to Hong Kong.
Okay. And started looking for jobs again, and I did the same thing. And this one popped up which said public relations executive at Craft Bamboo Racing. And I was like, okay, this seems interesting because it's racing. Yes, I was like, okay, let me apply for it. So I applied for it. Didn't hear back for 2 weeks because my profile had nothing to do with sports, nothing to do with PR, and nothing to do with racing at all. So I sort of took it upon myself to be like, okay, know what? I want to at least speak to them about this and understand what this role is. So I messaged everyone from that company. Everyone, like,
you have to do this. Message everyone just go to LinkedIn and message. That's what you have to
do. So I went to LinkedIn, looked up all the employees, I messaged everyone. Luckily, the only person who replied to me was the director of the company. So he replied to me saying that, I did look at your application, but I didn't see anything that stood out in terms of PR or motorsport. So that's why I didn't think it was the right fit. But since you messaged me and you said that you're passionate about this, why don't you come and meet me and tell me about yourself? So I went there, met him, we spoke for like an hour, convinced him somehow that I'm a good fit, and he offered me the role on the spot. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this up. I was doing an internship at the time. I went back to my internship and I'm like, look, I found this that I'm really intrigued about and really passionate about, and I want to take this up. And they were really helpful, they were really supportive. They were like, yeah, go for it. And that was basically how I got into the industry. And then basically every single moment from there on, I've never looked back. Because I think I realized that that's where I want to be and that's where I need to be. And every single work that I do within this industry, whether it be in Hong Kong or whether we'll get to it, whether it be what I do right now in London, I feel like it feels right, it just feels like this is what I need to do and this is what I want to do.
And that is actually one of the main reasons why I started Buckets N Banter. Is because as a former sports person back in India who always thought that sports means you have to be a professional player. And there's no other job. Like, people are so widely mistaken. Like, everything that happens in the sports industry, there's so many background things that you don't know about. Like, every tournament that happens, there's someone managing those tournaments. So like, this is one thing that we want to reiterate in this podcast and keep on doing that, so that our viewers will get to know that there's a lot of opportunities out there in the sports industry. You just have to go for it and get it.
There's a lot of opportunity, but it's also super competitive because there's so many people trying to get into it. But there is opportunity within the industry.
So
and
I want to talk to you about your CBR Media days. And like, when you've talked about it, you've talked about a lot of big names that a lot of big clients that you've worked with in sponsorship and partnership. Do you want to go into a little bit of it without breaking any confidentiality clause and all?
Like I said before, I doubt anyone is going to watch this podcast and ring me up and be like, we're sending you a cease and desist or whatever. But I think CBR was a sort of transformative point for me because I did not know when I was getting to it how much exposure I would get into in the industry. So for context, the director of the company is a racing driver himself. He's he's won 6 Macau Grand Prix and he's won he's like really, really celebrated driver in the eastern part of the world. And everyone in Hong Kong knows him pretty much. And he's got, because of his time he spent in the industry, he's got a lot of connections obviously in the industry. So I think I got a lot of exposure to some big names that you said. Like I worked very closely with Mercedes AMG because our team was a Mercedes AMG performance team. So we used to work with the factory quite often. And I worked with big brands like Disney, MSI, Porsche Design. There was a lot of like really, really big brands. And it was really cool because you got into something, or I got into something not knowing what it was, and then I got a lot of exposure within the industry very quickly. And I got to work on a lot of like cool projects as well, where I would get to travel with the team, go to different races, go to different partnership activations, think about partnership activations myself and bring those creative ideas to life, which was really, really fun to do as well. It was a lot of work, but at the same time, the good thing was that I never felt like it was work. I was always interested in it. Like I would go back home after a long day and still be thinking about how I can make something better, which is what made me realize that this is what I want to do. Because if it wasn't something I want to do, I'd probably be like, I want to get out of this.
And I get that as well, because right now I'm working with team sports, and I'm working in my bar on the weekends, and whatever be the case, I'm always still thinking about what team sports could be doing better, even when I'm not working. Most of my ideas I've gotten before going to sleep. And I'm just like, because I've been thinking about it. So it doesn't feel like work, because it's something you're so passionate about. And from on that topic, I actually want to get to one very cool moment you've talked about a lot, which we would be putting somewhere right over here. Naman in the pits. What was that like?
It was
one of the races you were in the pits. You want to take us through that?
Every race I was in the pits. Every race I went to with the team, I was in the paddock. I was in the pits, which was a cool thing which was a cool perk of working with a racing team. Obviously, you get to go behind the scenes and get to go in the pits. But the first time I went, I think it was in summer of 22. I think May. And the first race I went to with the team was in Bathurst, which is, anyone who maybe watches racing would know that it's like one of the coolest tracks in the world. Down in Australia near Sydney. And it's basically on a hill, so it's called Mount Panorama, the track. And when I got to the track, I had no idea what to expect, because I've never been to a race event before. As a spectator, I'd been to the Indian Grand Prix back in 2011, which was like, again, for Kid Naman, it was like, oh my god,
dream come true.
F1 cars. But when I got to Mount Panorama, no idea what to expect. Straight away went back into the paddock near the garage, and I think we were like one of the first teams there, because we were an international team and we got early access to the paddock and stuff. I remember like walking in, and I remember this so vividly because everything was like so new and so cool at the same time. I remember walking in from the back of the pit, and the car was just there, and we had not set up anything in the pit, because it's the first day. I think it was a Wednesday and the race is on Sunday, so you'd slowly like build up and set up and stuff. And I just looked at it and I went, damn, that looks cool, like that is so sick. Like it's a car, it's a race car, it's a GT3 car, so it's like, you just look at everything and you're like,
like
it looks like a toy car almost, but it's so cool. And then they started up the car, and the noise and the smell of the fuel and everything, it's just like, I was like, oh, this is where I want to be, like this is it, I want to be here. And it was the coolest moment, because I was in the pits during the race as well, cars flying by.
And you want to mention a few big names who you got to meet?
Please
name drop.
So one of the races we went to was a support race for the Singapore Grand Prix in 2022. So Singapore Grand Prix being F1, we were in the pits with like other F1 teams, but our pit was slightly separate. Like obviously we weren't in the main F1 pit, but it was on the path to the F1 pit. So everyone who used to get to the F1 pits had to go through our paddock. So I think one of the coolest moments of my life was, for those of you who don't know, I'm a big Charles Leclerc fan. And the coolest moment in my life was literally I'm in the paddock working on something, and my colleague next to me, she was doing something, and she just like nudged me with her elbow, and she's like, "That's Charles Leclerc," and I'm like, "What? Where?" Got up, ran after him. I was screaming like, "Charles, can I get a picture?" I remember, like, I took out my phone, my hand was like shaking. I'm like, oh shit, like I just need to get this picture. But yeah, I met him on the first day that I was there, and I was like, okay, my trip is done. I don't need to see, like, I don't need to meet anyone else. But luckily, like, I saw Fernando Alonso walking by, I saw Alex Albon, I saw a bunch of other F1 drivers. Like, it's just a cool moment. Like, you just feel like you're part of the group, part of the gang, you know.
In that note, I believe like I followed my passion to work in the basketball industry.
Yeah.
And I also ended up seeing and witnessing the greats like LeBron James, Steph Curry, and the dream team, the Avengers USA basketball team. And that was one of the biggest moments in my life. I was sitting courtside and Steph Curry was watching the USA women's game from the next side.
Yeah.
So like, I want to point out like how this, like the fact that you're working in an industry that you're so passionate about, things start to come towards you, and opportunities start to come towards you.
And I think it's really powerful as well, because those moments where you are experiencing that, maybe you don't realize it in the moment that it's something that you've dreamt about for so long, and it's happened, and it just happened so quickly. Like, I literally met him and he was gone in like 30 seconds. But then after that, I was just sat there thinking, I'm like, this is why I got in, you know, this is why I wanted to do this, because I wanted to meet my heroes, wanted to meet the people I looked up to, and it just makes you feel like so fulfilled. And I feel like sport does that. Sport has that effect where it sort of gives you a sense of belonging, like you've spoken about in your episodes before. It gives you like something to be a part of.
And it's a team. You're part of a team.
Exactly. And I think it's really powerful. I think it that's what keeps me like motivated to keep going and keep doing more and more, and wanting to like expand whatever I'm already doing.
So to just extend on this topic of passion. So you were in Hong Kong. You work with CBR Media. And then you decided to actually follow your passions and do your masters. And you decided to do your masters in sports marketing, and that's where we met. So then you made your way to London. So what was this transition moment? Like, when did you decide, okay, I need to now go and pursue my masters in sports marketing? And like, why did that decision come about?
It is slightly, the way you put it isn't quite accurate. I think my passion wasn't to do my masters. My passion was very much to work in racing and work in motorsport. I feel like how it came about was that, don't get me wrong, I love my job in Hong Kong. I really, really enjoyed it. I think it was one of the coolest jobs. I used to get travel all over the world. But I think in terms of professional growth, I felt like I hit a glass ceiling over there. Where, like I mentioned, the sport industry is very, very niche, and this was probably the one and only agency of its kind that did what it did. And I think a part of me was like, okay, I'm doing sort of the most I can over here, but it's not going to lead to anything bigger.
Fair enough.
Where I am currently. Maybe it would have, maybe it won't have. We don't know that. But I sort of felt like I'm still young, and I don't want to get too comfortable where I am. And I sort of want to keep like chasing that, keep doing more in order to chase that dream. The dream being working in F1, obviously.
Of course.
I think sport marketing at Loughborough came about because I thought, okay, in order to go to the next step, I need to be someplace where I can get more opportunity. And anyone who knows motorsport knows that UK is probably the best place to be. 8 out of 10 F1 teams are based here, and I think in general there's just a bigger, more organized motorsport industry in the UK. So I felt like, okay, to give myself the best chance in terms of probability, I want to be in the UK. In order to get to UK, being an Indian person, you can't really just get up and walk into the country. So I decided to spend a bunch of money to do my masters, which I wanted to do as well. I wanted to do my masters at some point. I just never knew what I want to do it in. I think I started doing a little bit of research, and I realized that there's a lot of like sport related courses, which probably are quite new, relatively. They weren't really a thing maybe 20 years ago. So obviously my parents or my advisors didn't really know about that. So I started doing my research, and I found out that there's so many sport related courses, and something that caught my attention was Loughborough University, because
number one in the world
in the world in terms of sport business, and good network, good partners, like all of that stuff, which sat right with me in terms of achieving what I want to achieve, which is working in the industry. So I think that's why I picked it. And that's why I applied, and that's when I got in and moved to London.
So, like, a lot of viewers probably, or maybe zero viewers for this episode, you never know. But viewers would definitely have this question that what are the expectations that people should come with when they're coming for their masters? Because there are a lot of students nowadays from India who want to come abroad, see more opportunities, and just do their masters. What are the expectations that they should come with, and basically what should they expect from a master's degree and post-masters?
I think it really depends on what you want to make of it, and I think that sounds very, very cliche, but having been through it, I feel like that's so true. People come with different expectations. So someone can come here just because they want to experience the college life, or someone can come here because they just want to grind out and like do every single thing possible that the college offers. And obviously being in college or being in university offers a lot of opportunity, not in terms of like getting jobs, but in terms of like meeting people, or in terms of like doing events or doing volunteer work or any of that stuff. So I think expectations are quite varied depending on who you are. But I think someone who comes to the UK, in our case, work within the sport industry, I think there's a certain level of understanding that needs to be there, that you're not just going to show up here and you're immediately going to get a job. Like I said, there's a lot of competition, like we both know, and there's multiple people, thousands of people coming in every year to do the same thing that we're trying to do. And obviously you're not isolated in that process. So I think that needs to be an understanding and an expectation of like, okay, maybe it's not going to be all peaches and rainbows, and you're not going to just go in and like dictate, okay, I want to work with this team and that team. I think it's more so that you need to build yourself up in order to be someone that other companies or other organizations would be like, okay, this is someone that we want to invest our time and resources in. So I think expectations wise, I really can't say. I think it really depends on the person. For me, the expectation was that I'm going to come here and I'm going to grind as much as I can in order to get into the industry, because I had no plan B. I literally came here with one plan. I was like, I'm going to get in, work here to university, do everything I can during university, basically network as much as I can. And networking is key. Everyone's going to tell you.
What's the saying? Your network
is your net worth.
Your network.
Your network is your net worth.
It's facts. Those are facts, just by the way. It's 100%.
No, it's honestly, I think there's some crazy stat which says that 70% of jobs within the sport industry in the UK come through networks. And I think being in that industry, I am pretty sure that's even higher than 70%.
So tell me, like, because now you're in the industry, let's get to post-university. Okay, we've gotten the expectations of what you can achieve and receive from university. What can you get outside of university? Because everyone hears this. The job market is difficult.
It's difficult.
You come here, you will keep applying for jobs. You probably won't get a job. You have to go back to your home country. Take me through the process. Like, what was the process for you? Like, how many jobs did you apply for? How many interviews did you give?
I've been waiting to say this. I've been waiting to say this to someone. I applied to so many jobs and I got one. This is how I did it.
So tell me, how many jobs was it?
So I think I started applying even before I moved to UK.
Even before?
Yeah, I started applying when I was already working at CBR in Hong Kong. Some of the feedback that I got while I was working there and I had interviewed for a couple roles was that because they can't sponsor my visa, there's not really a potential for me to come there and work unless I can like sponsor myself or I can get a visa myself, which was the initial barrier, like I spoke about. Like, to get through to the UK, I had to like do a master's or something which would offer me like working capability in the UK. But yeah, I started applying before. I applied throughout university. I think I got pretty, I won't say lucky, but I think it was a byproduct of the fact that I was applying for so many things and I was looking for all the opportunity, that as soon as I came in, I managed to land a part-time role with a Formula E team, Mahindra. And I think during my part-time at Mahindra, while I was doing that, I didn't really think much about applying to other roles during that time. So that was like very early on. I think the first 6-7 months.
So to make it clear, as soon as you came to London, you had a part-time?
No, not as soon as I came. 2 months in.
That's
3
basically
months
as soon as you came. That's basically okay. So you how long did you work that part-time for?
7 months.
7 months.
Something like that. Yeah.
And then
up until the summer of last year.
Yeah. Then after that you graduated.
Then yeah, I did my dissertation again with Mahindra only because we had the opportunity to do collaborative dissertation at a university. So I had managed to do my dissertation with Mahindra, and then we graduated. Before graduating over the summer, I also was applying jobs, like a lot of jobs. I think I applied 20-30 jobs over the summer, just not full-time roles because I know I couldn't work full-time as a student, but part-time roles. Again, I got an internship with another motorsport focus agency over the summer, which is again amazing experience working with like Formula 2 teams and Formula E and stuff like that. And then came the difficult part where we graduated in September, and I'd finished my internship and I had finished university, so I was basically doing nothing. And I was applying non-stop. I think I applied 5 to 10 roles every day for 2 months, 3 months, maybe more. September, October, November, December. 4 months, almost 4 months. 5 to 10 jobs every single day I would apply without fail. Every day I would get on LinkedIn, just apply anything and everything. I think I must have given like 50 plus interviews in that time.
50 plus interviews. I remember during this time, because we were flatmates in this time. So every day Naman comes to be like, I got one job interview tomorrow, this job interview the next day. I'm like, oh yeah, you'll get it, dude, you'll get it. There was even a scare moment where like he probably had to relocate to another place.
Yeah, that was potential there, but that fell through. It didn't happen. But yeah, I think I gave 50 plus interviews, and dude, rejection is tough. Like it takes a lot out of you. Like mentally, you feel so defeated every single time you get rejected, and that was the story every single time. Like I got to final stage interviews with so many companies, and just like it never worked out. Like something or the other would just like not work out, and I was just constantly thinking whether it's something wrong with me, whether the industry is just like
that brutal.
That brutal that with a master's degree you can't get into like an entry level role. I was like, this doesn't make sense, how can this happen? Or it's because that doesn't make sense to you, you start thinking, oh, this is probably me, like maybe my profile isn't strong enough, maybe I'm not good enough. So it takes a lot out of you, and that constant rejection, like it was just like, okay, I used to go into interviews thinking, what's the point? I'm gonna get rejected anyway. And which is not a great place to be. Like mentally you're just like, you're already defeated, so there's no way you're going to like put yourself out there and try as hard. But you just have to like keep going, keep picking yourself up, keep doing it over and over and over again.
So why do you think that those 50 interviews that you gave, was it not the right fit? Like do you think that like in hindsight now, do you think that those companies were not the right fit for you, or maybe it was just like
in hindsight I'd say there wasn't one reason to it, and I don't think that's ever true for anyone. I don't think there's one reason, and I think more so about yourself, it's more so about the company, from what I've realized. I think in general there's so many options to choose from when it comes to an entry level role, which we are competing for at the moment. I don't have the kind of experience to be like, okay, I want to be a director of a company or something. So when you're competing for an entry-level role, there's so many people that the company has the liberty to choose from that you need to stand out exceptionally in some way. And I think sometimes it wasn't the right fit. Sometimes they would find someone with more experience. Sometimes they would think, I have too much experience, which is also something that I didn't understand. Got rejected for multiple roles for being too experienced. So it wasn't one thing, and I don't think I can pinpoint it still. I've thought about it, but I don't think there's one thing that made them go like, okay, maybe he's not the right fit. It was just depended on the company, depended on the situation, something or the other.
Okay, so like just to stick on to this moment of how things were difficult. One thing I have come to realize a lot in the recent times is I've learned a lot more about relationships. Okay. Like throughout my journey in sports in the UK, I had a lot of support from my parents, because taking a step away from engineering, which is the cliche thing to do for any Indian man. So like taking a step away from that, having that support from your parents that, okay, if you think this is the right thing for you, and if you think that you'll be happy doing this, follow through with that. And then, so I had my parents to support me. Then in this long absence, I was in and out of a relationship, which was one of the best experiences of my life, to be very honest. I learned so much. I learned, like, I realized a lot maybe after I got out of that relationship, and not much whilst I was in that relationship, which kind of sucks, but we'll not get into that. We move on. But I realized, like, having a steady person to ground you and actually make you feel like you're doing your job, you just have to keep going. Because that's what at the end of the day, a relationship was like. My parents used to keep telling me, my partner used to keep telling me that you're doing great. And even though you know you're doing great, sometimes you need that reinforcement that you're doing great. So who were those people in your life who kept you grounded and kept telling you, like, kept you motivated to be like, okay, I'm not going to give up. I will keep going. I will face these rejections head on, and I'll keep stepping forward from that and making the next right move for me.
I think a lot of it has to do with the people you surround yourself with. I think for me, it was definitely my parents were always there. Like, my dad would know about every single interview that I'm doing, and like I'd tell him, like, oh, I've got another interview, I've got this is what's happening. And even when I got rejected, he would still be like, yeah, it's okay, you know what, like, so and so, like, we would try to like decipher, like, okay, this maybe wasn't the right fit, this didn't work out, so and so. Sometimes it would be like, we don't know why this didn't happen, but can't do anything about it. And at the same time, while I was doing all of that, like you mentioned, I was living in this house with you guys as well. So I think a part of that was also that we were all on the same boat. We all knew what it takes and how difficult it is to face that rejection over and over again.
Wait, I haven't been rejected even once. Okay, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're
okay, not you, not you, but the rest of my friends. But I think the group that I surround myself with keeps me grounded. It doesn't feel like you're alone in that. Because you have these people that are around you doing the same thing and trying to go through that same process. And I think a big part of that is that everyone is like supportive of what you're doing and knows that that positive reinforcement that you talk about, where it's like, okay, you're doing well, you're doing good, is something that keeps you away from those thoughts in your head about like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe this is not right.
So what you're saying is that outside of your parents, me, Kiara, and Sandy were your pillars.
Yeah, of course.
You heard it
pillars of support.
Pillars of support, me, Kiara, and Sandy.
I think jokes aside, yes, I think it helped a lot having you guys around. I think if I was living alone, it would be very difficult.
Student accommodation, I was bad.
I think mentally I would be super broken if I was living alone. There would be nothing to like lift you, pick you up. Like, you'd just be thinking about the same thing over and over. I think those distractions are very welcome, where you can like just like switch off for a moment and then just like, you know, hang out with each other. And having those friends and having those people around you, it just helps.
Okay, so from that, let's get to the moment. Because the day you got your job was actually a very special day.
Yes.
Because let's get into how your current role at Futures, how do you come about it? When did you get to know you got the job? And what was the entire moment like?
Yeah, it's really good because, again, throughout that interview process, I was going through it, and Futures was one of the places I interviewed in early December, I think. And then December was when we had our university graduation as well. And my parents were in town for that graduation. So I think I was traveling with my parents in Norway, and the day I was supposed to fly back to London is the day that I received the news that literally sitting at an airport bar with my laptop in front of me, and my parents, like my dad literally like 50 meters away staring at me looking at me like, what's going on? You know, like I'm trying not to look at him because I know he's staring at me. I think I got the news and it was like a really good moment because my parents were there. Yeah. I was so relieved, man. It was the best graduation gift that I could get. Literally the day after we had our graduation, and I just like I received the news that they're gonna give me an offer and they're gonna hire me, and I was just like, finally the process ends. Finally, after 4 months of being like absolutely doing nothing and just like going crazy, like, you know, like it's just like I kept thinking about the moment. I was like, when is this gonna happen? And is this gonna? It felt like it's never gonna happen. Generally, I was thinking of like, okay, maybe I'll have to like go back to Hong Kong, go back to India. I don't know where. Like, I don't know where I'm gonna end up because I don't know if this is gonna happen or not. When it happened, I was just so relieved. I was just like, I had like a couple interviews lined up after that. I just couldn't care less. I did not put in any effort for those interviews, to be very honest. I was like, I got what I need. And I think where I am currently, I've been here for 3 months now. Yeah. It feels like a great place to work. Like everything about it, it just feels right.
To get to like in futures, you've been doing some great work, right? And I would love to get into the great work that you're doing. Yeah. Outside of the great work, I've also heard a lot of fun things that happen in your office. Yeah. Like aside from the World Rally account that I want you to talk about, I also want to talk about the trips that they make you go for. So let's start with the World Rally account and then we'll go to that.
So I think there's two aspects to working at Futures. One is the work itself, which I'm really privileged and lucky to have been hired to work on a motorsport account. Yeah. Right up my alley. Yeah. Again, I'm working on the World Rally account. So in terms of doing that work, it just feels like, okay, I'm doing something that I'm interested in. Yeah. At the same time, having said that, I feel like even if I worked on any other account, I would still be equally as excited because I just love sports in general. Yeah. And some of the other accounts that we have, like even the other clients that we have, they're all like, they're great clients. We have Man United as a client. We got Adidas as a client. So I'm like, who would mind working with Man United? You know, like, and I've been a United fan forever, sadly, for a really long time. Come on. But I think the World Rally account, it just it helped me learn a lot of technical skills, getting better with coding and programming and all of that stuff as well, because I'm working as an analyst.
And did you know coding and programming before you joined
a little bit, very, very basic level, not to the level that I'm doing now. Like I'm building like automated scrapers and stuff now, which is something that I didn't know I could do myself. So yeah, learning Python, learning SQL, all of these things, which just seemed like buzzwords at the time. Now I'm actually doing it and using them on a day-to-day basis. So I think the work itself is very rewarding. Because you, as a person who's been a motorsport fan their entire life, you get to work with an entity like World Rally, which is like the elite rally competition sanctioned by FIA, which does Formula 1 as well. So, you know, it's like you're working with those big names, you're working with big organizations. So it just feels like you're doing something that makes a difference. And then the other part of it is the social part of it. Yes. The social. So I think this is a very important emphasis that Futures places on the work-life balance, which, to be very honest, I never felt in Hong Kong. Hong Kong was all work, which I don't mind. I love the grind, but at the same time, it feels okay to also like relax for some time. So the good thing about Futures is that they place a lot of focus on like your work-life balance. So we go on like regular team drinks and we go on like social events and stuff like that. And summer's coming up and they're talking about having like an entire summer series with pool and table tennis and all of that stuff, like ongoing competition. So it's just like, it makes you want to like go into work because you want to do these other things and interact with people around you as well. And because everyone's like working in sports, everyone's like-minded, you can talk to them easily. You don't have to be like, I don't know what to talk about. You know, you literally can talk about the game that happened last night, or it's just easy to talk to everyone. So yeah, we have like a work trip coming up. Like
where are you going?
Budapest.
We're going to Budapest. I remember Naman coming up and telling me that, oh yeah, we have a work trip, fully sponsored, going to Budapest next month. I was
like, what? So I'm going next week. I'm
going next week now. Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, shit. By the time this episode comes out, maybe I'm already been to Budapest. But I'm going to Budapest for a work trip. Sorry, our creative leaders prompting something to us. The prank.
Oh, so okay. This prank was one just to quickly go on.
If you're not Indian, you're not going to understand this prank.
so the thing is, visa was something that Naman was really looking forward to seeing whether his visa is for 1 month or for.
Firstly, if you're Indian, you need visa to go everywhere.
Anywhere.
So when my work told me that we're going to a work trip to US, I'm like, first thing I thought of was, I need to get a visa. So yeah.
So he applied for a visa. His visa passport came. He was in the office, and Kiara and I, of course, being very intrusive flatmates, we were like, let's open it up. I think it's illegal to open other people's mail, right? I don't know. Anyways, so we were like, we were being intrusive, like, let's open it up. We saw it, and he had a nice 6-month visa. 6 months, right?
6 months, yeah.
6 months. We were like, you know what? No. Kiara, edit that. You are a creative person. Edit it and make it to 1 month.
Yeah. So for context.
Also, if Futures you're watching this, he didn't do anything. He was the creative lead, and we were the ones who decided to prank him and thought it would be a nice idea. But clearly, it was not the nicest.
So for context, when you apply for a Schengen visa, you don't know how long you're gonna get it for. So I've got it for like 10 days also. I've got it for a month also. I've got it for 6 months also. So when I applied, I was like hoping that comes for 6 months, so I can keep using it and go to Europe multiple times. And I had obviously explained this and said this to my flatmates, who maybe in hindsight I shouldn't have, but. Essentially, my passport came, like he said, and then I asked them, I'm like, okay, how long is it for? And they just said 1 month, and I was just sat in the office going, again, why is it for a month? So I asked Kiara to send me a picture because I wanted to get my process done, whatever, in the office. Like I wanted to show them.
He just wanted to see it.
They thought I just wanted to see it, but I wanted to submit it and show them that I've gotten my visa. So I'm like, can you send me a picture? And these guys, nicely, they edited that picture and they edited the end date of the visa to make it from 6 months to 1 month. And I'm like, oh, it's actually for a month. Showed it to my manager and she's like, okay, like, you know what, it's okay, whatever. I was kind of disappointed when that happened. But then when I came back home, obviously I opened my own passport and I saw that 6 month visa and I was like, these guys.
I started laughing first, and then he told me he had told his manager about everything.
Yeah.
And it just became a huge thing which had to get sorted. And I was like, I'm so sorry.
Because I didn't want them to think that I was lying to them. I didn't want them to think like I'm trying to be dishonest and trying to get like. So yeah, immediately the next day, obviously I messaged them saying that was a prank, and they took it nicely, obviously, which is part of, again, leads back into how Futures is as a company. They're very, very like, they're not set in their ways, they're not like rigid. It's a small company, so it's not like, oh, you need to go through a lot of red tape and do a lot of this and that. You can literally just approach the director and be like, this is what happened.
Okay.
And she just laughed about it. It was a good laugh. So
so at least thanks to us, that was a good laugh.
Yeah.
So no worries. No
yeah,
worries.
but no thanks, actually.
Okay. Now in this entire episode, our dear friend Naman has talked a lot about motorsports and how much he's worked in motorsports.
Okay.
Now it's time for a rapid fire round.
Okay.
A rapid fire round.
You're going to test my knowledge.
Into his F1 knowledge.
I wonder where you got in these questions from.
ChatGPT, bro.
Okay.
You think I'm going to research? Oh, what happened? No. Give me a trivia. That's it. So, all right. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So the first question.
Yeah.
Who was the youngest ever F1 world champion?
Youngest ever F1 world champion.
And if you can mention the age, plus points.
Youngest ever is Lewis. Lewis was...
You're on the wrong track. That's out.
Oh, it was Vettel?
Vettel. It was Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah,
he was 23 years and 134 days in 2010.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Vettel.
Second question. This you should know. What does DRS stand for?
Drag reduction system.
Okay.
Easy one. Next.
Name the only driver to win an F1 championship after he passed away.
It's probably one of the older ones when I wasn't even born, like 1960, 70 or some shit.
It was Jochen Rindt in 1970.
Yeah.
To give context, he died in a race, like crash, and then he had a lot of points already. So
no one could catch up to him.
What does a yellow flag in F1 stand?
It means there's a caution on track, like someone's gone off, or there's like debris on the track or something or the other.
Correct.
Track, yeah.
So we've got 3 points. No,
3 out of 4.
No, 2. 2 out of 4. Sebastian Vettel.
Oh yeah.
We'll put a counter here.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see which guest does the best.
Vettel I said before you said. When you said I was on the wrong track, I said Vettel.
No, but then you already...
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Which team did Fernando Alonso win his 2 championships with?
Renault.
Correct. Name the driver known as the Iceman.
Kimi Raikkonen
it is. What country holds the Monza Grand Prix?
Italy.
Okay. Who's the only driver to win F1, the championships in both F1 and MotoGP?
F1 and MotoGP. Oh, I knew this. It's another old guy.
It's John Surtees.
Oh yeah, John Surtees. Yeah, okay.
And bonus question.
Yeah.
What's the max speed reached in an F1 race to date? Could be like plus minus 10.
Max speed?
Yeah.
340 kmph?
372.6. It was by Valtteri Bottas in 2016 during Mexican GP.
Okay. Yeah, that 2016 Mercedes car was
insane.
A beast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the rapid fire round.
Like 5, 4, 5, 6 out of 6 out of 10.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah.
We'll see how the other guests do in the future.
Yeah.
But your knowledge was above 50%, which is a good percent to have. Congratulations.
Half of those questions were before I was born, so it doesn't even like.
That's how it's supposed to be. And now that one fun part of the segment is done, and this is the last segment. Let's move on to the last segment. And this is something that I've kept asking all of the guests who've come onto the podcast. And you probably already know this, but let's get into it. Dead or alive?
Okay.
Who are the 3 people, dead or alive, from any historical era that you would want to have dinner with and have like a nice long conversation with?
Dead or alive, 3 people. You know what? I've done this podcast editing like so many times, and I've heard this question so many times, but I actually never thought about it. Definitely has to be Fernando. Has to be one of them. Okay. Fernando Alonso, because he was the reason I got into F1. Okay. He was driving for Ferrari at the time when I started watching, and I think he's one of the greatest drivers of all time. Yeah. He's won like F1, won Le Mans. No, he's not won MotoGP. Yeah. He's won F1, he's won Le Mans, he's won Indy 500. So he's up there. Yeah. I'd say the logical answer, this is actually a really difficult question to answer. Yeah. The logical answer would be like all sports people, but I actually want to like branch out and not do everyone who's sports.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so Fernando Alonso would be one.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm just going to stick to sports. I think cricket is a big part of what I watch as well.
Yeah.
And being Indian,
has to be
Sachin.
Sachin, okay.
Sachin, he's there. Yeah. I mean, I think Sachin is one of those people who transformed cricket in India. And it just like took it to another level in terms of what the skill was. And I just want like, if I had conversation with him, I would just like want to get into his psyche, you know, how he started playing at 16 and then just became like the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Just persevered through it for like 20 something years.
Yeah.
And the last one would be Mahatma Gandhi. Yes. I've heard a lot about what Mahatma Gandhi did, obviously.
Yeah.
But also, I think as someone who grew up in a country that like has his face on every single note, getting to talk to that person and
that'd actually be pretty cool.
Actually understanding what led him to the moment of like actually leading this entire freedom struggle. Because there were like so many people there, but why him? Why was he the one who led it? I think that would be pretty cool to understand.
That's great to hear. Yeah. So those were your dead or alive.
Yeah.
And that takes us to the end of our podcast. And before we leave and end this podcast, do you have any message for the viewers who are watching this?
Subscribe.
But do you have an actual message that you would want to say maybe to your loved ones.
Okay, for the 5 people that are watching this,
who've reached till okay, actually, maybe like 2 people who've reached till
for the 2 people that are watching this, what's the message that I have? I'd say I say this to everyone who talks to me about like working, and like obviously work is a big part of our lives.
Yeah.
Do or try to find what you love to do.
Yeah.
Follow your passion. Again, super cliche, and I know it sounds like a thing I just like got off a quote of somewhere, you know.
But quotes are made for a reason.
Yeah, I think doing what you love and following your passion makes you at least not feel like you're working just for the sake of working.
Yeah.
And for me, it's helped me sort of find a balance in my life where I don't feel like I have an existential crisis of like, what am I going to do with my life?
Yeah.
So yeah, do what you love, find what you love if you don't know already, and try to work towards it. There's always a way to do that.
There's always a way.
Yeah.
You heard it first from Naman. And that takes us to the end of our podcast. Naman, it was great having you on our podcast. And really had fun in shooting this podcast after a very long time. And this time around, we've actually made a pipeline for our podcast, and we should be regular.
More episodes to come.
More episodes. We've said it before, but this time we actually do mean it. More episodes to come. And
I know I'm the content head, but most of it is his fault.
But yeah, definitely more episodes to come. And I hope you guys stuck on till the end. And if you did, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Spotify. I have to figure out the password for Spotify. Yes, I will do that.
Yeah, we haven't uploaded on Spotify, but we will.
Yes. And yeah, thank you for watching. And Buckets N Banter out. Woo!